and go for a minute. Hey, Brian, you still got the Mad Lib handy?
I do still have the Mad Lib handy.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get more than one person in here willing to talk, and we'll do that later.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I thought so. You know.
Yeah.
I've decided for spooky season this year I'm going to play the Alan Wake games, or the first one, and then the smaller, what we used to call downloadable titles, but now everything is downloadable no matter how big it is. So,
I think I get what you're going for.
yeah. So I'm going to play that because the sequel comes out the next week, I think. I'm going to play through the originals for spooky season, and if I get done with those before actual Halloween, I'll come up with something else to do on Halloween. What is Halloween this year? A Tuesday? Yeah.
It is a Tuesday. Freaking weird day of the week. Who does anything on a Tuesday?
It's one of them.
It is.
The OG or the remake of Alan Wake. The remake is apparently only available on the PlayStation, so the OG. But it wasn't a remake, it was a remaster. At least it's called remastered. Who knows if it actually is. They just slap the word remastered on thing, whether it's an actual remaster or not, because the game industry doesn't care. They just want it to sound cool.
Oh, I finished Final Fantasy 3 Pixel Remaster.
That was quick.
It is fast. I forgot. I played the DS version back in the day. And first of all, Sam is still having too much homework, so one of us or both of us have been staying up with her. And I've just been putting it on. But yeah, it's not a long game. So,
nice.
Just FYI. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's 2.5 minutes. That should be good. Here we go. Oh, jam. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 687 of the Mana Pool. 687? Isn't that why... Wait, that's why 6 is afraid of 7, right? Or 7's afraid of 6. Yeah, because 687.
7, 8, 9.
What? No, 687. Jesus Christ, Eric, you're jumping us like 2 years in the future. 3 years at the rate we're currently going.
I feel like there should be...
Well, I guess in this case, it's
oh, Mike's roboting again.
Be what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, are you okay?
I think Mike's internet just had a stroke.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm pretty...
saying anything.
You said at this point, it seems like there should... yeah.
Yeah.
Ending on the word, yeah, just made me so happy.
I was going to say, I feel like there should be at least one 6/8 for 7 mana. Taking it back.
Wow. There probably is. But I'm not going to...
There probably is. No. Someone else can. That's not me. But I'm not going to.
Anyway, I'm Chewy. The robot over there that you may or may not hear throughout this episode is Mike. Hey, see, that worked. Brian is the one that's Brian.
Hello, that's me. I'm Brian.
Yeah. And then Dirk is the process of elimination. Dirk's the last one left.
Dirk's the one that's not me. Yeah. Dirk may or may not be a robot as well. Well, I guess we'll have to find out.
I mean, we'll never know if you don't quit talking over him. Dirk, you want to say hi?
This is me saying hi.
There we go.
Because I'm a robot in disguise.
Na.
That was funnier than it should have been. Oh.
So, I had to do the quick intros because it's already late and I think we're already losing all of them in one way or another. So, this week we're doing another installment of There's No Plane Like Home, where we take a look at one of the planes of existence in the Magic multiverse and try to decide if we would maybe consider living there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Most of the time we don't.
The vast
Want to
majority
live
of the
there.
time, we do not.
There have been a couple where we're like, you know what? Like Lorwyn and
Ravnica.
Lorwyn. Yeah, and Ravnica. But yeah, a lot of them,
It was
are
like,
pretty
we're getting a bad situation, but it's livable? Question
Yeah.
mark?
Actually, I think Amonkhet may have been like the worst. So, but
Well, that's because a bunch of us would burn out in the desert from all the heat and sun
and the,
dead bodies.
Ritualized death games. So
Mhm.
yes, but that's not what we're here to talk about today.
It's true.
We're
Today, we're going back, way back, like way back,
Yeah.
to the set that was my first new set ever, back when I first started playing Magic. And it's the much maligned plane of Ulgrotha, the Homelands.
The fact that this was your first new set and you're still playing is a great testament to the game, because Homelands for the longest time was just the worst set, right? Like that was just the common vernacular. What's the worst set? Homelands.
Yeah, pretty much. Isn't it
Yeah.
still? It probably still is.
I think it might be.
It probably still is, but I know we had a much worse experience trying to play limited with Fallen Empires.
Fallen
than we did
Empires,
with
yeah.
Homelands.
Because there's no removal and no evasion and no nothing, and everything is awful all the time.
No removal, no evasion, and there are many, many creatures with one more toughness than power, and they are all small.
They all have
just
like at
stare
least
at
one
each other.
ability.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds horrible.
It
I
was.
don't think I tried this with you guys.
It is hard.
Yeah, Mike and I did a
Good for
a
you.
Winchester on like live on stream back in the day when we would do that sort of thing. Man, you remember those days?
Yeah, and I tried one with Gabe too, with Fallen Empires, and it was awful. But Homelands actually played really well. I think you and Clues played a Winchester of that.
That sounds possible. But anyway, that's the set itself. I don't know if anyone really talks much about the plane because the set was so bad.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I wanted
Yeah.
to talk about it, is to try to learn more about it. And in doing research for this episode, it has been fascinating. There's way more to this place than it looks like there might be, and honestly, I'm kind of hoping that they do it justice by coming back with a set that's not Homelands, because I think it'd be fascinating.
There's a ton of story. It got explored pretty decently in some of the early comic books.
Yeah, I
And
remember
that's where a lot
seeing.
of this comes from.
I remember seeing. Oh God, was it Isan Shade on the cover of a comic and going, "Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that looks cool."
Well,
And
and
then
I
just
have,
like reading the flavor text that it's on Shade, it's just fascinating. It's like, wow, what is going on here?
Ooh. The flavor text on Isan Shade is. Wait, is that Isan Shade? Is that Beast Defiler? Or is that something else?
Beast. I think that's the Baron. Beast, Defiler, the source of all
Might-
my pain, or something.
Source of all my pain. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's the Baron.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh no, yeah, Isan is about Isan, and it's Sarah Inquisitor saying Isan the weak, Isan the fallen, Isan the betrayer. He has brought shame to the Sarah Paladins where none existed before. May his suffering equal his betrayal.
Dang, son.
right? Yeah. The Beast Defiler, the source of all my pain, was said by Isan Shade.
Yeah. That's why you had the link in your mind.
Yeah. So there you go. But we'll get into all of this, all of who these people are, as we go, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Chifuji asks, wasn't Homelands at one point considered the third entry in the Ice Age saga? I mean, only because...
Yes.
So...
Because
Okay, so when Ice Age came out, it was the first time they'd done a full-sized standalone expansion of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it had its own starter packs, it had its own lands. They'd never done that before. I know, weird, because that's all they do now. But then they did a smaller set that was a sequel to it called Alliances. And then they just did another smaller set.
No, well, it's the other order. Homelands was released before Alliances.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so they did the big set
Ice Age.
of Ice Age.
Ice Age, and then Homelands. Homelands went to another plane, which didn't happen very often. And then Alliances actually returned to Dominaria and Terrasair specifically. And it started to show some of the story of the end of the Ice Age.
Yeah. And then the next set was the first true block, which was Mirage Block. And so because gamers love to categorize stuff, they just lumped, and it was big, small, small, big, small, small, big, small, small set size for a very long time. And Homelands was a small set that came out after Ice Age and before Alliances, so it was just lumped in. But it was never part of the story. It was just part of like the Ice Age release block before blocks were a thing.
Yeah.
Like retroactively, they put it in there.
Yeah. And then later they came up with Cold Snap to be the actual successor to the story of Ice Age. So, yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. It was never part of the story of Ice Age. It was lumped in there for convenience sake. Weirdly.
Yeah.
So, okay, what do we want to talk about with Ulgrotha? By the way, the name of the plane of the Homelands is Ulgrotha, which for a very long time was a like one of those trivia things that people just didn't know.
Yeah.
So when you say name a plane, you're Ulgrotha. Stop making stuff up. No, it's real. It's the Homelands.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like Arabia, or what was the one from the freaking card game, PC game?
Chandelar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's interesting because with the recent set, March of the Machine, and its focus on planes, I think there was an invasion of Chandelar, an invasion of Ulgrotha, invasion of all these other little things, right? So between that and between the releases of the plane chase product, you get more of a spotlight on some of these planes than you would have just from the sets themselves, or at least the original sets, you know? So, which, as a lore guy, I'm digging it.
Yeah.
So,
apparently there's an eclipse tomorrow. My mom just texted me, and I'm like, she's like, shame we're going to miss the Ring of Fire tomorrow. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Wait.
I thought it was Saturday.
So there's an eclipse.
It is
on
Friday,
Friday
Saturday,
the 13th.
No, it's on the 14th. Mom is Mom never knows what day it is.
Okay. I was gonna say it's already gonna be a Friday the 13th in October. That's already like creepy enough, and now there'll be an eclipse. That's actually it. Like, oh, and it's like forecast of rain of blood or something. But still, that's cool. Lunar eclipse?
Solar.
Or solar
No,
eclipse?
solar eclipse.
Solar eclipse. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, don't look directly at the sun.
I guess
Unless you're
because
dumb,
it's not
then
going to
go
be
ahead.
anywhere close to here, I just wasn't aware of it. The next one I'm aware of is in April, where it'll be visible in New York, where hopefully I'll be. I'll go see the girls because it's going to be right where they are. Yay. Anyway, sorry for the thing. My mom just randomly is texting
No,
me
that's
stuff.
cool.
Uh,
So I gotta say, before doing research for Ulgrotha, the only thing I knew was vampires.
Yep.
Now, keep in mind, when I got started at the end of Invasion block and into Odyssey block. And so I'm flipping through Mike's binder because Mike's the one that's been playing the longest along with Chewy. And of course, everybody hits on the Baron just because the Baron's so cool. And Issen Shade is there, and I'm like, that's cool. And Autumn Willow, and I'm like, this is great. And he's like, those are the three best cards from a horrible set. And I'm like, okay. Um, so, but they evoke this presence, and we were saying before the show, a lot of these cards from Homelands have great descriptors in the flavor text. They really kind of brought the setting home in a way that I would have had no idea. But so all I knew going into this was Dark Plane, vampires, bad, ooh, spooky, kind of like, you know,
like a proto Innistrad.
Innistrad.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
And then I did some research on this, and this is from the MTG wiki among other places. So I'm assuming I've tried to steer away from like fan theories and stuff, because people can make up anything. Like, you know, I
Don't bother, Brian. Just
there
move
you
on
go.
with your point.
There you go. I would never have guessed that essentially Ulgrotha started out like super rich in mana, apparently. Like, it was kind of a paradise for planeswalkers because the mana was like dripping off everything. And people would be like, hey, sweet. So it's kind of started out as a paradise. So I wonder if there's almost an analogy to, other post apocalyptic places, except that the Algrotha we know is all post apocalypse. And it was regularly visited by planeswalkers, and then there were two groups of planeswalkers. And remember, this is pre-mending planeswalkers, so these guys are pretty beefed up. They're essentially gods or demigods. Two factions got so upset at each other. I don't have enough information on them. Maybe Mike can fill us in if you know more. That they conducted a war on the plane that tore the place up quite a bit. A planar portal was constructed on the plane to leech mana from somewhere else because they were using up all the mana on the plane. And finally, the planeswalker Ravi, Ravi, who shows up in a bunch of things, rang the Apocalypse Chime, which is on a card, and it basically. Here's the description of it from the wiki. The effects of the chime were monstrous, as the artifact caused a magical backlash that erupted across the entire plane, with effects seen even on the distant planes of Dominaria and Kamigawa. So, it disrupted mana channels all over the plane. All creatures perished, and all of the duelists who could not escape in time were burnt by the colorless fire, as an entire world of energy surged against them. The land died. The only things that basically survived were some of the creatures that were summoned by the planeswalkers in their duels. Because, hey, that's what you do in Magic the Gathering. So, like, the players blew up, and the cards on the table were like, what do we do? And some of them were like, Herloon Minotaur was like, we're free. But, so essentially over hundreds of years, they started to establish their own societies, but it was in the dead zone, which there's even a plane chase card, I think, the dead zone, where nothing grows, there's no mana, everything, like, it sucks the life out of you, hence dead zone. So I've been talking a little bit. Mike, do you want to fill in with anything? Because you were playing at the time, right? So
Well, I was playing at the time, but I wasn't like buying cards at the time. I was getting stuff from my friends and playing with my friends. But yeah, I wouldn't have known any of these things without having read the comic books at the time, because this stuff about the prehistory of the plane was just not in the cards. It just wasn't there.
Mhm.
The closest you get to it, I think, is either the flavor text. I can't remember which card it's on, but it's either the flavor text for Apocalypse Chime or Grandmother Sengir that says something about the Apocalypse Chime. And she's saying, maybe I'll ring my pretty little chime again. So you know it's happened before once. And that's all you get from the cards themselves. Otherwise, you just have to read the comic books. The two groups of planeswalkers who were battling, one was called the Ancients because they were very old and powerful planeswalkers and wizards. And the others were called the Tolgath. I don't know why, but they were much younger and they were really interested in exploring and learning and everything. And basically, the two groups got into a conflict because the Tolgath started snooping around where the Ancients preferred they didn't.
Of
And
course.
that's what started the whole feud between
Dang
them.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Big Brother's watching.
So Apocalypse Chime has flavor text that says, "One day or another, perhaps I shall ring my pretty chime loudly, so that all may hear." Grandmother Sengir.
Okay.
Yeah, and
For some
basically, if
reason, I
you're
thought it mentioned ringing it again.
and
So,
when you're when you ring your chime and like other planes across the multiverse hear it, that's a bad thing.
yeah. Part of that
Uh,
was because one of the warring planeswalkers had opened a rift somewhere on the plane, so there
right.
was that's part of why the Apocalypse Chimes effect leaked out.
Yeah. So good job. And then the flavor text for Grandmother Singir um, says rarely. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. There's a little allusion there to Grandmother Singer with the chime, right? So
Hmm.
Ravi was a fairly powerful planeswalker, rang the chime, and she survived by hiding in a magical coffin. But due to the effect, due to the effect of the chime, she stayed inside. She was unable to get out. She was unable to. She laid in stasis, awake, unable to dream, aware of every passing second for centuries. Eventually,
Jesus.
She's found by Baron Sengir, who hasn't even entered the picture yet. But just skipping ahead, he lets her out, and after seeing what she can do, basically takes her under his wing and calls her Grandmother Singir, which is
Yep.
why on the card Grandmother Singir, she's a legend, but she is not a vampire. She's never a vampire. She is a insane planeswalker who's been adopted by a vampire. Take that after being awake for hundreds of years in a coffin.
Yeah, her type line is human wizard on both of her cards.
Mm-hmm. Her flavor text for the original Grandmother Singir is rarely have power and madness been so delightfully wed as they have in our dear grandmother. And it's spoken by Baron Singir.
Wait,
So
Grandmother Sengir is Ravi?
yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing.
Because her other card is Grandmother Ravi Sengir, and my brain just came to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Her
yeah.
flavor text on her other card, which is the backside of Invasion of Ulgrotha, is "I do enjoy a good apocalypse."
So that's why she's also been alive for so long. Is she's a pre-mending planeswalker, and even after the mending, I'm sure that she retained enough of her power that she's essentially ageless
Huh.
and insane and twisted. Because again, living for centuries and not being able, like absorbing every second and not being able to dream, sounds like something you wouldn't do to your worst enemy. And the being that survived that. So off to a great start here. We
Yeah.
have paradise, and then and then these planeswalkers decide to wage war, and then the apocalypse chime goes off, and what are you left with? You're left with a planeswalker that can't interact with anybody, that's trapped in a metal coffin for hundreds of years, and a bunch of summoned creatures that don't know really what to do. So,
there's there's elements here that you see brought back and kind of mined and reused again in other stories, and Innistrad and Zendikar and Mercadia and several other places.
I mean, in the earlier days of Magic, the story was sort of less, not less important, but less polished.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this story is all over the place. It has a ton of cool elements, so I can understand if they wanted to try to reuse them because they knew not many people would have not many people would have known them in the first place, so it doesn't matter.
Huh. So yeah, apparently, I don't know how this works. It says after 2 unknown planeswalkers dueled in the swamps near a castle, an uncompleted castle that dwarves started to build. An ancient vampire lord by the name of Baron Sengir was left stranded on the plain. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what it means is basically he was summoned and then.
Yeah, that's part of his story. He was summoned to the plane in the Planeswalker duel.
Oh.
But then the planeswalkers either lost or died or something, and he again was kind of stuck here along with others. So,
It's so weird that that's not even a thing that happens in like Magic anymore. Like they were trying so hard to tie the game mechanics into the like story mechanics that he got summoned from where? Shut up.
I almost kind of like it. It reminds me a bit of, the DC character, the Joker, and the fact that the Joker doesn't really have any one origin. It's like in The Dark Knight, he tells at least 3 different versions of how I got these scars. So DC has said there's not been any one canonical origin for him. So here we have the Baron. Everybody knows he's powerful. He's got this mystique about him, but we don't know where he's from. And there's part of me that's like, I want to know, and there's part of me that's like, are we better off not knowing? Because whatever we conjure up is probably more interesting than, oh, he's from Innistrad, or oh, he's from Kamigawa or something. So sometimes the unknown is a little more interesting. But so a colony of dwarves in the after this great war apparently don't ask how this happens. But according to this, they were on another plane and they dug through a subterranean planar gate to Ulgrotha. I that you, you think that the Baron
got too greedy.
you think that the Baron just being summoned there is kind of like hand wavy. Well, hey, we want some dwarves. How'd they get there? They dug and they dug. They're dwarves.
Yeah, what did dwarves do?
They dig. They dug and they established a dwarven city and built a great stone castle called Morning Light. This isn't setting them up for anything bad. Then, meanwhile, later, Baron Sengir was left stranded on the plane. It does, after the Planeswalkers dueled. And he's like, yeah, this place, feels like my kind of place. He started turning people into undead, and he takes over the castle. And even the dwarves who had been out tried to break back into their own castle. He's like, nah. And they were repelled. So the survivors swore vengeance against the Baron because he took our castle. Doesn't have the same ring as Jobs.
It really doesn't.
No. So so they kind of hold up in the mountains. You do have plains on the set where a couple people live. You have dwarves in the mountains. You've got the forest where the autumn willow is taking place, and maybe Mike can explain Autumn Willow a little better than I can because I don't really get it. And then the vampires kind of rule the castle and the surrounding swampland. So again, trying very hard to tie the mechanics into the story, you have these different civilizations in these different basic land types. Mike, who's Autumn Willow, or what is it, or her, or something?
So yeah, so Autumn Willow is kind of like basically an avatar of the forests there on Ulgrotha.
Like Swamp Thing.
She's a yeah, she's a nature spirit, and she got woken up because of the effect of Feroz's ban, the
Hmm.
protective spell that he set.
Yeah.
Something about it just, of course, again, interfered with it, create a barrier between it and the rest of the multiverse. And Autumn Willow just kind of woke up from the forest, and became and started protecting it from outsiders there. So uh, the people of Anhava, they live in that area that Autumn Willow protects, and there's some other kind of related spirits that are called the Daughters of Autumn, and there's some clerics that serve her as well. But yeah, so that's who Autumn Willow is.
So you mentioned Faraz. Uh, Faraz and Sarah, you might have heard of her, like Sarah Angel,
Mm-hmm.
were two planeswalkers that individually came to Ulgrotha. They didn't come together. I guess they met there and fell in love and became married, I guess. And they kind of were afraid of having seen the effects of the Great War. They're like, you know what? We should keep planeswalkers out. So, hence Faraz's ban, which has a card. I don't think Faraz has ever been on a card, and
I don't think
he's
so.
dead. So
Surprised he hasn't shown up yet in some commander set or whatever.
Yeah, and
the flavor
Faraz's
text
ban
of
is well, it's an artifact for some reason, but
yeah,
it just says creature
I
spells cost 2 more to play or 2
yeah.
more to cast.
The flavor text on the seventh edition. I want to see if this is the same as on Homelands. Um, on the Homelands original card, it said, "Without the protection of Faraz's ban, I fear the Homelands are lost." Said by Daria, who I'm not sure that is. And basically,
You know, from Beavis and Butthead.
Faraz. For,
I think Daria is one of the. I think Daria is one of the Willow priestesses.
That
okay,
makes sense.
he and Sarah get married, and then he dies, and the Baron kind of manipulates Sarah into leaving in her grief so that he could basically take over. And that's why you have like the Sarah, the Order of Sarah that Islan, what was his name? Islan,
Isan.
Isan was a part of. So, but she rapidly lost her influence when she left, and she kind of formed a demi-plane, Sarah's realm, elsewhere, out of grief of losing him. So, but he died. So, after Homelands, we don't really have much of an update until New Phyrexia invades, and when they invade, it looks like the place is pretty vampirific. So one can only at this point we've got some speculation, but one can think kind of like Innistrad. If the vampires kill everybody off, there's no one left for them to feed on. So I imagine that there is some sort of balance between the races, at least to a certain extent. Um, Sarah
Yeah,
was trying to negotiate peace, and actually it involved the Baron. But go ahead, Mike.
yeah. I don't think the vampires are as populous on Ulgrotha as they are on Innistrad, where you have the multiple families and their their estates and everything. I think it's really just the Baron and his family. And Grandmother Sengir is not a vampire herself, but she uses horrible cannibalistic magic to keep herself alive.
Ballistic, you say?
Yes.
Righty. So I think you draw an interesting comparison with Innistrad because, as you said, there are the different factions of vampires on Innistrad. Um, you've got Soren's family, the Markovs, who are kind of like the
Yeah.
grandfathers of vampires. But then you've also
Mm-hmm.
got um, Voldaren, Olivia Voldaren, who
Mm-hmm.
was trying to marry into the family. So you have these different factions. And I get the sense
Yeah.
from Homelands that the Baron is not keen on any subdivision of authority. He's it, right? So
Yeah. He's the guy in charge.
yeah. So you have them, you have dwarves living in the mountains, you have fairies in the islands and elsewhere. There is a subsection of goblins that are ruled by Aaron,
Aaron the
Eron, which
Relentless.
the Relentless. Yeah, he is. He doesn't relent like ever. He just doesn't do it.
Yeah,
So,
he
and it's.
was insane back in the day because he was a ball lightning that could regenerate.
Mm, I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah. So. Um. And then again, remember, all of these creatures are essentially holdouts or survivors or ancestors from planeswalker duels, which I think is kind of fascinating. It reminds me a bit of Mirrodin because when Karn created
Right.
was it Argentum or whatever he called it,
Ar- yeah.
um,
Argentum.
it was a Argentum. It was originally Baron, and Memnarch started using soul traps to bring creatures from other planes there with the long term goal of harvesting enough that he would get a planeswalker and transfer their spark to himself. So that was another plane where there were no natives and everybody was kind of brought there by other means. Except here, again, it's unintentional. It was like these are tools of war, and then the masters died, so they were left to pick up the pieces by themselves. So so that's kind of the history. That's kind of the layout. Again, the as far as like the various environments, you have, you know, the various geography of the plane that it has the northern plains, the floating isle, the dark barony, which apparently they still call the Castle of Morning Light or Castle Sengir. Uh, the mountain range is the Koskun Mountains with the Care Range. I know I've heard of Care Keep.
Yep.
So, aha. And then you've got the Great Wood, and then most of the plain is the Dead Zone. You don't want to go there
Wait, no,
because
Koskin Keep.
Yeah.
well, there's
Cos-
Care Range and Koskin Keep, yeah, and a place
Wait, the
called
care range is in
Stronglock.
the care range is in Ulgrotha?
That's what this says.
I
Care
had no
Care
idea.
Range.
Where are you seeing that?
Hold up, Care Range.
Ah, here we go. It's down under geography on the fandom
Yes.
page.
Yep, there we go.
The mountain range was already inhabited by the Minotaurs that live secluded within the vales of the Care Range.
Yeah.
So it's not where Care Keep is. It's just got the same name
That's,
because they apparently they were bad at this back in the day in the Magic story.
They just really like the word care.
I mean, it's a cool
Yeah.
word, Kher. Like I like it.
yeah, there you go.
So yeah, Faraz and Sarah did the ban to cut it off from the rest of the multiverse, I guess. But Faraz died in a lab accident.
Oh.
Sounds very blue.
It right? It says for around 4110 AR, which I'm not sure what AR like what that means, but
Argivian Restoration,
Yeah,
I think that's what
that's
it
right.
stands for.
oh.
Yes.
Faraz tragically died in a
Argivian
laboratory
Reckoning.
accident.
Argivian Reckoning, sorry.
Oh, there we go. That makes more
Wait,
sense.
I'm sorry. He died in a laboratory accident. I must have skipped over that part. Like, oops, I dropped a beaker. I'm a planeswalker.
Oh no.
Must have been a heck of an accident.
So when Faraz died, his band began to fail, much like
Like,
I don't know.
a Wizards of the Coast band.
yeah.
Oh, Brian's
Gonna have some
Mike's roboting
pretty
again.
wicked lab experiments.
Okay, Mike, say all that again. Or don't.
Like,
Badass lab experiments.
bad
I think he
lab
did say it all again, and
experiments.
we only caught the end.
I only heard, and I quote, badass lab experiments,
Yep.
which is really all I need to hear. But
So yeah, the band failed. Planeswalkers could get there, and Leshrac saw a vampire army marching at the reluctant command of Isan Shade, which means the Baron was looking to take over. And then I guess he left.
there was a scene in what was the last a future sight, the last set of Time Spiral where was it Leshrac and Nicol Bolas were dueling each other, and they were like zapping from plane to plane. And it might have been, if it's a quick note like that, that could have been one of the planes that they were zapping through. And Leshrac thought he had Nicol Bolas on the ropes, so he was kind of making notes of like, I'll come back here and subjugate these people. And then it turned out Nicol Bolas was literally trolling him the entire time, because Nicol Bolas. So that would actually be probably the most up-to-date reference we have to Ulgrotha, other than the new Phyrexia invading. So,
Yeah,
if I have that time frame right.
In the Phyrexians' invasion of the multiverse, under Ulgrotha, it just says, as the Phyrexians attacked Ulgrotha, the defense of the plane was led by former planeswalker Ravi Sengir. And that's literally all it says. So, it's good to know that, she's like, look, you bastards, this is my plane. You get out.
Forget, she's crazy. So, between her cannibalistic tendencies and just the fact that she's just insane, I don't even want to know what was going through her head. But the Phyrexians were probably like, oh crap, we don't want to assimilate this. This is not perfect. This is not part of the grand design. One turns to the other, do you want to assimilate her? And the other one's like, no, do you? No. We need to go. So that's kind of the state of the plane. These are kind of the geographical layouts. So now we turn to the discussion of, do we want to live there? And if so, why? And if not, why not? And if possible, like where? And if I'm talking as me as Brian, I'm thinking this place sounds horrible. Like, we're talking about some bad places.
I found it. On a stormy midsummer's night, Faraz suffered a fatal accident in his laboratory. An elemental he had been studying had gotten free and committed grievous harm against him. By the time that Sarah reached him, he was near death. With his last breaths, Faraz begged her to leave this world, that she should never tell anyone of what they had done, and to leave, quote, their children, end quote, to live their own lives. But before he could tell her why, Faraz died. Oh.
Again, pre-mending planeswalker, just, oops. That must have been some heck of an elemental there.
I guess. Also, let's see. JT Huffy resubbed for 53 months. Wow. A little while ago. And Mike just resubbed for the 43rd month and said F in the chat for Faraz. Oh. Or some bad at this game in the chat for Faraz, because what the hell, dude? So, all right, we've got. What else is going on here? We've got dwarves, fairies, goblins. Yep, we talked about them. Various humans. The Anhava and the Aeson, as Mike pointed out. They're humans in the Dark Barony, apparently. And some bandits and rogues, of course. As you will. There's minotaurs. Orcs? Because there was one card that said orcish, so there have to be orcs.
Yes.
There were a few shades and trolls, and some werewolves. That's fun. Gargoyles, clockwork things, badgers, bats, bears. What the hell?
Badger.
Oh,
Thank you,
wait,
Dark.
is there any fungus? Oh, there's no fungus. Boo. There are serpents, though, so...
There are no Uncle
That's
Isthmus.
But there used to be. Wait, was
Yeah,
Uncle
I
Isthmus?
mean,
No, Uncle Isthmus wasn't in this
Uncle
set.
Isthmus from the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's from the dark.
And apparently there used to be unicorns, because Feast of the Unicorn was one of my favorite creature enchantments from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's called Feast of the Unicorn.
Yeah, I messed up, man.
That's a weird looking unicorn.
Well, it's dead and has an apple in its mouth, so, you know. So, what are we thinking here? It seems to be like I said like a long time ago, it seems to be like the proto Innistrad, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels
not-
like Innistrad with fewer positive things.
I mean, there's less evidence of civilization to protect you. Like, at least on Innistrad, you can try to belong to a society, whether it's the Church of Avacyn before the angels went crazy, or you go to the Hunters in Gavany or whatever, and you can just try to, like, survive. I haven't read anything about any sort of militarized effort. The dwarves hate the vampires, but if you go to them, they're going to want to conscript you to go fight the vampires. If you try to just mind your own business, you can't just live out in the dead zone because you'll die. Because it's the dead zone. There's not like a safe place here.
Now that I think about it, the people of Anhava, they seem to get by okay.
Oh yeah, there are safe
the
places.
woods.
There's the Aeson, or Aeson, I guess it's called.
The place that Sarah founded?
No, I think it was there before she was, but...
Okay, I thought she founded that. I'll check, I'll look that
Oh
up.
yeah, she did. I could have
Ah.
sworn I saw the word Aeson above her, but clearly I did not.
They thought she was a goddess, and she's probably like,
Which
oh, you.
she basically was, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the Onello?
Yeah, Onella's the capital of Aeson.
Yeah. So that might not be too bad. Too bad.
And then there's the Anhava in the Great Wood. That's there's an inn. They've got an inn. The mountains aren't overrun with vampires.
No. But you
They're
do have
safe
the
places.
dwarves. You have the dwarves on the one hand, and you have the goblins being led by Mr. Relentless on the other.
Mr. The Relentless, thank you very much.
Sorry.
Please call me Aaron. Mr. Relentless is my father.
On the floating isle, you've got a wizard school, which I'd completely
you do.
forgotten about, which is one of the early attempts at a tri-land.
I remember that.
God, those
it
were
was
so
not
bad.
good, but I liked it.
Mhm.
I liked it.
I mean, they did a thing. I remember putting them in decks, and when you needed that other color, it was there for you.
Yeah. You had to like pay 2 generic to get there, which hurt a lot. But yeah, I remember that. And it was kind of a cool image too. Man, other sets really did kind of dip in and borrow some of this stuff because they thought nobody would notice, didn't they? Because it's Homelands.
I mean, there was a lot of innovation in Homelands, and there are a lot of good concepts, and there are a lot of good cards. Brian was saying, I told him, yeah, those 3 creatures you found are the best cards in Homelands, but let's not like Memory Lapse is also from Homelands.
Yep. Serrated Arrows are from
I forgot.
Homelands.
Yeah.
Serrated Arrows is from Homelands.
Serrated Arrows. I remember there was a story about how it used to be a tournament rule that you had to have at least 4 copies of a card from the newest set in a deck, right? Because they wanted you to. I think that was a way to get people into standard before standard was a thing. So everybody just ran 4 copies of Serrated Arrows.
For high level. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that was a blanket rule or just for high level.
I think it was just for certain tournaments.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, like certain high-level tournaments, there was the rule. I think you had to have, I think it was 5 cards from the latest set or something like that. Or 4, maybe it was just 4. But everyone, like Brian said, just ran Serrated Arrows because, well, that's good.
It was good, and it fit into
just throw them in the sideboard and you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was still at a time when creatures were really not great yet.
Yeah.
So, sure. Dirk, would you want to live in Ulgrotha?
In certain areas, sure. Like you guys had said, I would say the Asen, maybe the Floating Isles, on Hava is a possibility, but it sounds like the Dead Zone seems to take up a good chunk of everything. And unfortunately, if that's what you have to get through in order to get somewhere, does not sound appealing to me.
Yeah, like I'd hang out with Autumn Willow if they'd let me, Yeah. She seems like she's keeping things together down there.
I mean, if you've got the woods, the only thing you have to worry about in the woods are
bears,
badgers, elementals, ferrets, spiders, mammoths, and lizards.
Yeah.
Is that all?
That's it.
That's
and
just
bears.
like the normal woods.
Well, the avatars are the willows, or the autumn. Autumn, willow, and daughter.
That is probably one of the better places to be, but woods are still associated with savagery, so they're not necessarily safe. They're just not dangerous the way that,
Oh, crap.
The barony is dangerous.
Autumn Willow's page says that when Faraz's band started to fail, she felt the energies that sustained her begin to fade. Because, the ban had the side effect of bringing her into being.
Oh, that's wow! I wonder if she's still around or not. Then, dang.
It says here, she knows that with her current strength, she may have a chance at restarting the mana channels of the plane that were broken by the apocalypse chime so many years ago, and bringing, which I think thousands of years ago, something like that. And bringing
right at this point,
Ulgrotha back to life. However, this would cost the lives of every creature in the Homelands. She says, it says, but if Autumn Willow doesn't use her power, then the strength of the Homelands will fade until even she ceases to exist. And what she saw in the vision, there was a vision earlier mentioned, may indeed happen. Oh. I don't know what vision there was. Clearly a vision where horrible things happen.
Worse than,
so she has the choice to either worse than turning it off and turning it back on again.
That's kind of what I was thinking is, worse than killing everyone on the plane. But don't worry, the next wave of people will be fine. Duh.
Yeah.
Also,
now
as-
Autumn Willow
as-
is at a loss for what to do and is trying to find some third option because to destroy all the ones that she loves brings a cruelty that even a creature derived from balance and nature cannot endure. So she waits for a champion, an event, or a miracle that will keep her from using their very primal forces against those she loves so dearly. Jesus. That got dark fast.
did. And here's the thing, the chime is still there, right? So I want you to keep this when we're talking about like would you want to live there or not? You might just be doing your own thing and then everything just ends. Like not even
That's
like
true.
not even like an invasion by Phyrexians, not even Nicol Bolas showing up and being like, I'm gonna kill these planeswalkers and take their spark. It's just gonna be like, and reset button. At any time. And who's holding it? The world's craziest planeswalker.
Now, we should point out this is not too far gone from what we currently are dealing with in this reality. So,
Oh, it got real.
I could probably not even pay attention to that.
But would you choose to subject yourself to it?
I mean, maybe.
I see where you're coming from, but I do have concerns.
Ow. I do like that there are two different like clans of dwarves. There's the mountain dwarves, and then there's the sea dwarves, which is not a thing you see ever.
Right.
Sea dwarves? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some sea clans that live on the coast.
Which is just a trip. Like, that's weird. But yeah, I like I like what they've done with this place, and as Brian pointed out, the way that they've like just picked neat parts from it and taken it to a different place and done something better with it
Yeah.
is nice. Oh wait, what has chat been saying? Didgeridoo. Oh yeah, Didgeridoo came from this set. And Merchant Scroll was also in Homelands. That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, the merchant from Merchant Scroll, I think, are the Sea Clan of Dwarves, if I remember correctly.
You might be right.
Ooh, let's go look. Merchant Scroll, search. By the way, the Apocalypse Chime artifact, for 2 and tap, you sacrifice the Apocalypse Chime to, and I'm going to read the original card text,
Bury. Yeah,
bury
yeah.
all cards from the Homeland expansion. Now,
Yeah.
a thing that I don't like about Gatherer here, I could have sworn there were 2 versions of Merchant Scroll. But it's only showing me 1. So let's go to Scryfall and search for it.
I'm not sure if Merchant Scroll had multiple arts. There were some cards in Homelands that did, but I don't know if Merchant Scroll was one of them.
Yeah, maybe not.
I know Memory Lapse had multiple arts.
Oh, I bet that's the one I'm thinking of. I love the one with the guy from a Tool video,
Yeah.
which I think was the one that was reprinted later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Merchant Scroll just says, there's no trade without trust, Aaron the Relentless. So, maybe not. Memory Lapse, Homeland. Oh, God, there's so many prints of Memory Lapse. Okay, that shows both versions. So, yeah, okay. I guess Merchant Scroll only had the one. I would have lost money on that. It also had, like, some kind of carriage. The black carriage, yeah, which was a black creature with trample. but you had to sacrifice a creature to untap it during your upkeep. It didn't untap during your untap step. Because, you know, you can't have a 4/4 for 5 with trample in black. That's too good. But anyway, so yeah, it's a dark, horrible place where dark, horrible things have happened. It's essentially Fallout, like the game series, but in a magical setting. Because, like Brian said, it's post-apocalyptic. There was essentially a magical nuclear holocaust.
It used to be the
everything
best
died.
place. Like,
Yeah.
everybody was there because they wanted all that sweet, sweet mana, and it was awesome. And this is why we can't have nice things, is they broke it. Hard.
So, there's oh hey, Jay Spencer with a 34-month resub, thank you very much. So there's a big vampire lord who's trying to take over, and probably has taken over a good chunk of it based on what Leshrac saw.
Yeah.
Let's see. It looks like from the very beginning of our story here was 3,200 AR. And then Leshrac showed up at 4,500 AR, so I don't know what year the new Phyrexian Invasion happened, but so the apocalypse happened 1,300 years from the last date we have.
Yeah, for some reason I can't remember whether we're like a few hundred years away from the mending or a few thousand. I just don't recall.
I don't know. I think they've given us an answer to that question, but I don't know that they've ever actually like made it super clear.
I
They
think
get
they
all
have.
weird with the timey-wimey
Dang.
stuff. And they backtracked on the whole, planeswalkers age slower than everybody else because they don't want to lose their marquee characters. So, you know.
Okay, here we go. The Great Mending. Okay, the Great Mending began when Jessica sealed the last major rift in Otaria in 4,500. Okay, the mending occurred about 60 years before the present.
Oh, okay, so it's closer.
Again, this is according to the fandom wiki, so who the hell really knows? But it says remarkably.
That makes sense. Liliana.
Oh, it says remarkably, this is around the same time that the Great Ether Boom in Kaladesh occurred. I don't know why it says that. It just decided to point that out. So yeah, what were you about to say, Mike?
I was saying, I guess that's plausible because Liliana didn't Liliana get her start right before the mending, and then started to look for help from the demons after her spark changed and she started getting older.
That's right. So that actually makes a lot of sense. So.
Oh, apparently the last set was in 4562, according to the timeline, again, on the fandom wiki, so take it with a grain of salt, if you will. So, yeah. Oh, Will Kenrith and Kellen capture Ariad. Okay, so 4563. 1 year after the new Phyrexian invasion is when Huatli enters the core of Ixalan, which I guess is the very next thing in the story that's I guess probably being revealed now or shortly.
I haven't kept up, so I'm sure we'll get to previews very soon.
Like within 20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in 4563 right now. So That's interesting. It's only been 63 years since the mending.
Okay.
And 3200 is when the apocalypse chime happened. Huh.
Okay. So it's been centuries, but it hasn't been like multiple millennia or anything.
Yeah. A lot can happen in 1300 years.
It's true. We tend to think of these things in these like grand, like Tolkien, like just forever and ever and ever.
That was
but
a word.
Yeah, it was not. It was. You know what I meant. But a lot can happen in even like 5 years. So, yeah, I learned something today.
Yeah, me too.
I still don't want to. I think obviously going into this, it was like, oh, this is going to be dark, and maybe it's not the worst plane because there are a couple places where you can be safe. I'm still going with the whole. This place is a post-apocalyptic wasteland. There are parts of it that are literally going to eat you alive, and there's the thought of if Grandma Sengir Ravi gets bored, you're just done. So I there's other places I'd rather be.
Yeah, I'm still not. Okay, here's a question: would you rather be here or on Innistrad?
Huh?
They have very similar danger level.
They do. On the one hand, this one has the apocalypse chime. On the other hand, Innistrad has uh, Emrakul in the moon, which at some point that balloon is gonna pop, right?
Oh yeah.
So, I think Innistrad.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go to Innistrad because, like Brian pointed out earlier, they have clearly defined like defenses against all the bad stuff. Whereas here, it's like, I mean, they have to, they probably do, but we just don't know about them.
Yeah, but they have something. But on Ulgrotha, I would say the bad guys definitely have the upper hand.
I agree. I think the Baron definitely has the upper hand here.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, yeah, Innistrad, and Innistrad doesn't have Grandma Sengir, which I'm way more frightened of now than I was a half an hour ago. So
Look, man, she did defend the plane against outside invaders, but then of course, Doctor Doom also fought against Thanos when he had the Infinity Gauntlet, and then he tried to take the gauntlet himself. So
yeah, it's like it doesn't take some vast moral strength to fight against the Phyrexians. No.
yeah. If the enemy of my enemy is still a psychopath, I'm not cool.
Yeah.
I'm not good. So yeah. Okay. Well, this was an interesting one, I gotta say. And
yeah, this was way deeper than I expected. Because I'd forgotten they did comics and a bunch of stuff back in the day.
It's not just that they're playing where there be vampires, which is how it kind of comes across until you dig into it. Because they haven't done it justice in the last 20 years.
No.
They need to go. This would be a plane where if they went back and they went into the lore, going in, people would be like, what? And then I guarantee you, if they did a good job, by the end of it, they'd be like, yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, yeah, we said forever, oh, they should go back to Kamigawa. And they were like, no. And then they went back to Kamigawa, and it was awesome.
Awesome, and it was also super different from the last time. It had a very different vibe, which I get that they didn't want to go back and do, Splice Arcane, all that good stuff.
But yeah, the thing was they figured out how to do it right.
Yeah.
And in a way that still made sense.
Yeah.
And if it's possible for Kamigawa, it's possible for Ulgrotha.
Yeah. If we can do Kamigawa, we can do it a lot of places. And I honestly feel like Ulgrotha has potential.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially, okay, let's get a little inside baseball here. Especially since now Wizards of the Coast has the Universes Beyond stuff to, like, prop up their sales numbers. Like, it's not the end of the world if they go to a place and everyone hates it. Because they're still making that Lord of the Rings money and that Doctor Who money. So, I'm just saying.
And as long as they put, good card designs in it, they'll still be getting some of the, most of the standard and other constructed format money.
That is true, yeah. Like, as long as the cards are good, then people won't really care as much about the story. And I swear, I think the people that, like, care the most about the story don't actually play the game, so we don't care what they think anyway.
I'm raising my hand, I guess.
See? So yeah, I know a lot of the oh crap. What's the people who care about the story? What are they called?
No.
Vorthos. There we go. Thank you. I could remember Melvin, but not Vorthos. What the hell is wrong with me? But, I know a lot of Vorthoses play Magic and whatnot. That was not. Don't give me the hey, I play. Yeah, I know you do. It was a joke. Calm down. In fact, most of the like Vorthoses that I know of personally are like still deep into the game itself. Now that I think about it, but it was funny at the time. Shut up.
I thought you meant older players who weren't in the game anymore.
Oh,
they're old.
Actually, yeah, probably that too. Like me, they've been disillusioned and no, this sucks, but still want to know what's happening. So yeah. So what do you think? Is that good for Homelands?
I think that's good for Homelands.
Yeah, I think so.
I really do want to go back though, and I hope we get to see the Ebony Rhino. Laugh all you want though. I distinctly remember getting to 7 mana and being able to cast the Ebony Rhino, and that being a major turning point in one of those limited games.
Oh, it's serious.
It's a 7 mana 4/5 with trample. That's an artifact creature for anyone that doesn't know. You get those out with the Clockwork Gnome. You get that out with the Clockwork Gnomes to regenerate it.
Oh wow.
Plus, there are ferrets, so therefore this is the best set. Just hope nobody has Chandler. Dude, why you always got to bring up the bad stuff? Wait, is Chandler? Yeah, Chandler's the one that breaks artifact creatures, right?
I don't remember which is which.
I think so, because Joven was, the better one. Damn it, now I gotta look it up. Chandler. Yeah, destroy target artifact creature.
Okay.
And Joven was just destroy target non-creature artifact. Yeah, because Joven was the good one. Because he could blow up icy manipulators. What? Anyway.
And serrated arrows.
And serrated arrows before they ran out of before they ran out of arrowhead counters. So do you think we have time to do the Mad Lib?
Yes, but I'm biased. So, Dirk, are you up? Dirk, are you up for another couple minutes?
Yeah, for just a little bit.
All right. So Brian wrote a Mad Lib a few weeks ago, and we have not had a chance to get to it. So let's get to it.
Let's get to it. And
also,
should we involve audience participation?
Well, of course. Chat, let us know, by the way, if you would like to live on Ulgrotha, in the Discord or in the YouTube comments or Twitter. God, if you need Blue Sky invite, let me know. I'm trying desperately to get away from Twitter because it's getting bad. But all right.
for the Mad Lib, you guys know how this works. I mention, a type of card or whatever. You give me an answer. About every 3 or 4, I'll say specifically that I'm going to ask chat for it. And the first answer I get from chat, whether it's the funniest or least funny or whatever, as long as it actually meets the criteria, that's the one I'm going to use. And since we're on the little bit of delay, I'll say it and then give them a minute. But I'll let you know when I'm asking for one from chat.
Yeah.
So, hey, chat, let's make sure you guys are awake and paying attention. Chat, I need a step or phase of the turn.
Yeah. All right. So keep going. Ask us something while chat figures that out.
Chat's figuring that out. Everybody else, I need a creature card.
Ebony Rhino. Duh.
Ebony Rhino, yes.
There you go.
Obviously.
And
chat says combat.
Sky. Nice. Is that technically combat step, Mike? Is that the actual
Phase.
Combat phase?
Mm.
All right. Well, that worked pretty well. Let's do that again. I'm going to ask chat for an enchantment card, and while they're getting back to us, everybody else, I need an instant or sorcery.
I can't think of any.
I
Mike's
can see the
phase.
art in my head.
Dirk said
Mike's phase.
Mike's face.
What is the art look like, Mike? We'll do a quick little Sam quiz here.
It's a I think it's a red sorcery from Homelands. Can't remember what it's cost, but there's like someone being sacrificed on a stone altar. You like do something with 2 creatures, like one of them gets exiled and the other gets -1/-1 counters.
Oh crap. Yeah, I love that card. Oh, its color is red, and it is a sorcery, right? It's got to be.
Yeah, I think it costs 2 red. I don't remember.
Where is it? Sorcery. Add. Search. Hang on. We'll get it, because I love that card. Retribution. And it does cost 2 red. Choose 2 target creatures an opponent controls. That player chooses and sacrifices 1, and the other one gets a -1/-1 counter.
There it is.
Okay. So I've got Retribution for the instant or sorcery. I had a couple answers from chat, and first one was Search for Greatness and was later corrected to In Search of Greatness. So we'll go ahead and take that.
Yeah, go with that.
Although I do like the other answer that was given. I'm not going to say what it was in case somebody else uses it later, but we'll use In Search of Greatness and then Retribution. Let's do one more with the guys, and then I want another one from chat. Guys, I want an aura.
I mean, should we say torture while we're on a Homelands kick?
Yeah, that'll work.
Say torture.
That's from Homelands, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, chat. I need an artifact card, any artifact card, and dorks. I need a plane. Planes, a plane.
Chandelar.
Yeah.
Chandelar it is.
Boeing 787.
And chat has Door to Nothingness.
Buh.
Is it Nothingness or is it Door to Nothing?
No, it's nothingness.
Nothingness.
Nothingness. Okay. All right. Cool. Not here to question the chat.
Always
chat.
question the chat.
You know what? Let's give the guys. I'm gonna switch the order here. Guys, I'm gonna ask for a land. Chat, I want. Well, they're gonna answer in a second. Chat, I want a legendary creature.
Yeah, chat.
So
Jesus. What do you want from us? A land?
A land. Any land.
Oh, that's a sorcery. I almost said Anhava Inn. Why is Anhava Inn a sorcery, by the way? They didn't know what they were doing back then.
No.
What's a good land? What is a good land?
Uborg.
Keep thinking of
Urborg? I heard Urborg. Is that just regular Urborg? Or the Urborg that's the Tomb of Yawgmoth?
Let's go with Tomb of Yawgmoth.
Yeah. Oh, we got Joven in the chat.
Joven, of course, because, you know, he loves him some ferrets.
Also, he was like one of the early like portly dudes in Magic.
yeah.
You didn't really see like us chubby people in the card game unless we were like grossly obese.
Hmm.
So Joven, I always like Joven because he's just like a stocky dude.
Okay. All right. So, and they will show up in the order of Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, and then Joven.
I mean, no one cares, Brian.
I know. I'm just talking. I need. All right. I need from the guys a sorcery, and from chat I need an enchantment.
Flame Wave.
Ah. Flame Wave is a good one. It's got a dude surfing on it if you look closely.
It does.
And then chat gives us Enchanted Evening. Oh. All right. Hey, chat. All right, this is going to be somewhat related. I want from chat any keyword or ability word. From the dorks, I want specifically a guild-associated keyword.
Oh, God. I don't remember those.
Field associated keyword. Dredge.
Dredge.
That's a good one.
And chat has for us Death Touch.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. From chat, I would like a black sorcery. From the dorks, it's your turn to give me a step or phase of the turn that's not Mike's turn.
Dang it. Brian's upkeep.
You know, might have to remember that for next time.
Y'all are weird.
What?
That just are.
Oh.
Okay, what's next?
Did you give me a step or phase of the turn that's not Brian's upkeep?
Oh,
Or are
you
you
weren't
just
just going
going
to
with
take upkeep?
Yeah, I assumed
Okay.
you were going to take
I was
upkeep.
thinking upkeep.
Yeah.
I thought you were just being smart, Alex. So I was like, everybody's being quiet.
Yeah, because we were waiting on you to tell us a thing.
And then chat says Yogwill, which I think is short for Yawgmoth's Will. So
Yawgmoth's William.
Yawgmoth's Bill.
I miss Bill.
All right. I need from the dorks a keyword or ability word. And from chat, I need a land.
Ooh, what's one of those really bad red combat ones that involves attacking?
Ding.
What was that, Dirt?
Banding.
No.
Battle Cry.
That works, yeah.
Correct.
Like, you could have given me one of, like, half a dozen, and I'd have been like, yeah, that one. Because
Don't cry.
there are so many either red or white or red and white mechanics that involve, like, attacking and something happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something silly happens.
Usually something getting bigger, like Mentor or
Mentor.
Training.
Enlist, training.
Yeah.
Battlecry, Battalion, all kinds of stuff.
I think Battalion is the one that was in my head when I said that.
Mm-hmm.
Battalion was actually a Ravnica ability, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yes, it was.
So chat says the other Urborg, which I think is just called Urborg.
It's just called
right?
Herborg.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. All right. Hey, we're sticking with the theme. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. All right. I need from the dorks. I need a planeswalker, and from chat, I need a red instant.
Ravi Singer doesn't count.
Teo the Shield Mage.
Hey, there
I
we
mean,
go.
if you really wanted, but that's okay. So, say that again,
What, Teo the Shield
Mike?
Mage?
Mateo.
No,
Teo.
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 Teo. Shield Mage, come and me one go demonetized.
Oh. I heard they're making a sequel to Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I heard about
Joke
that
in
too.
there somewhere.
Wait, really?
Yes, there is a Beetlejuice too.
Or you mean there will be a Beetlejuice 2?
Yeah, it's not out yet.
That's got Winona Ryder in it.
Still waiting on a red instant from chat, unless you guys are just wanting us to finish it. But,
Chat might be done. How many are left?
A couple.
Okay.
More than 2.
Okay.
So, tell you what.
Yeah.
if
Keep
I
giving
don't
us
get a
stuff then.
response- All right. So, guys, give me a red instant.
Just steal it from the chat.
Unless you, or we've given them a
They
little
lost
time.
their chance.
That is true. They have taken like a hot minute.
I
here.
kind of need something to fill. I'm not gonna be like they
Chain stasis.
chain stasis. Okay.
Wait. Chain
What's
Stasis
a
is
blue
blue.
instant?
Well, I was writing
It's
it
an
down.
instant.
Red instant.
Oh, red instant.
Is Chain
I thought
Lightning?
it was instance.
instant?
Chain Lightning is a sorcery.
Piss. Chains of Mephistopheles. All right, now I'm
No.
determined that there's going to be a red instant with the word chain in it. Hang on.
Could be.
Chain, color, red, type, instant, search. Chain of Plasma. Oh, God, that's the one that I had. That's the picture I saw in my head, too.
Oh wow.
It's literally the only one.
Okay. We got several to go, so we're gonna keep going. Give me an artifact. Any artifact.
Apocalypse Chime.
Aha, of course.
We're going to bury all of the cards from the Homelands expansion.
And the funny, I wrote this 4 weeks ago, way before we decided on this topic. So, I need an aura, and you've already used torture.
Oh, I've already used Torture.
You have. You haven't used frog tongue. That's always one of my favorites. But
Oh, hey, how about Frog Tongue?
hey, look at that.
Oh my God. I heard a corn song that I haven't even thought about in like a decade and a half.
Which one's that?
Ball Tongue. Are you sorry you asked?
Yes, give me a zone. Not auto zone.
The flow state. Oh, wait, what are we talking about?
Give me a zone.
Exile.
Sure.
All right, give me a blue sorcery. Hey, look at that. Chat mentioned exile at the same time as Mike. So, give me a
doesn't
blue
have
sorcery.
sorceries.
Blue occasionally has sorceries.
What kind of a counterspell is a I guess there is a sorcery counterspell in Portal.
Portal.
Chat says transmute artifacts. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I mean, yeah, that works.
Is that from Homelands?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. I need a green instant.
Veil of Summer.
Okay. I don't even know what that does.
It got banned in a few formats. It's basically cryptic command for 1 green mana.
That's
Well,
Veil of Summer.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, give me a red sorcery, and red does have sorcery. Some of them are rare.
Unfortunate. Oh, Earthquake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice, simple word. Goes good in a Mad Lib.
Give me a 1-cost creature card.
Those aren't real.
Orvin Trader.
Dwarven Trader, like Benedict Arnold,
Like
or like
Trader
Trader.
Joe's.
No,
Okay.
like one who trades.
Gotcha.
Good old vanilla 1/1 for 1 from Homelands.
Now this you won't be able to get from Homelands. I need an incarnation creature.
Yeah, I guess they haven't retconned anything there. Let's see. Wonder?
Chat says Dread. I see Dread first.
Oh,
So
I didn't see that.
Dread.
Okay.
Give me a non-aura enchantment.
So tempted to say something stupid, but it won't fit.
Dread of
Give
Night.
Dread of Night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then again, maybe what I had would have fit.
So we already have Dread, and now we've got Dread of Night. Give me a creature type.
Elemental?
Okay.
In memory of
hey,
old
chat.
Froz.
I'm gonna throw this one to chat to see if they want to answer it, and then we'll see if they do. If not, then we'll turn it back to you guys. Chat, give me a legendary land. While they're thinking about that,
That's random.
Dorks, give me an artifact.
Prophetic Prism.
Oh, yeah. Sarah Aviary is a world enchantment? What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I have not got an answer from chat. Just kind of checking in. I know that I'm not trying to put too much on them. So,
Yeah, I think there's only one person in the chat who's actually answering, so anyone else there is just
Yeah.
listening.
yeah. So, oh, hey, we got an answer. Hammerheim.
What's that?
What on earth is
Yeah.
Hammerheim? I know what Hammer
It's
Time
another
is.
one of the.
Oh,
It's another in the cycle of that same one that the original Urborg was from.
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Target creature loses all landwalk abilities until end of turn.
That's gotta keep that legendary. Give me a red sorcery or instant this time.
Maybe now it's time for Chain Lightning.
Oh, yeah, there you
Is
go.
it, is it time? Chain lightning. Give me a beast creature card.
Oh, what's the big 3-colored one that makes almost a copy of itself?
Oh, the Godsire?
That's the one. Thank you.
Give me a white instant.
I legit cannot think of a white instant.
There's been 2 or 3 in Magic's history.
Oh, is Sunlance an instant?
Yes.
It's gotta
have to
be,
be.
right? Because it says attacking creature, right?
I think so.
I think so.
We'll say yes.
No, it's a sorcery. It's non-white
Oh.
creature. Son of a...
Oh, whoops.
Oops.
I thought it said
Crossed
attacking
that out.
creature. Oh no, I can't think of
Is Raise the Alarm an instant?
Yes.
Yes, because it's awesome.
Yeah, that's what makes it busted.
Broken. We're getting down to the end.
Thank God. This is too long, Brian.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Give me a land.
Oh, you ready?
Yeah.
Forest.
Okay. That works. Excuse
Bless you.
me. All right. Give me a plane. Ravnica. Give me a white aura.
Pacifism.
Naturally.
Give me a black enchantment.
Weakness.
Ah.
Give me a blue instant.
Evacuation?
Is evacuation an instant?
Yes, that's awesome.
Yup.
Give me a card. Any card.
Memory lapse.
Give me an
Also,
enchantment.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
apparently there are only 3 red sorceries in Homelands, by the way. I just realized I still had the search up when I was trying to find Retribution.
Give me an enchantment. Are any of them any good?
No.
That doesn't surprise me.
Claw curse.
What?
Say that again?
Iron Claw curse
Oh.
Iron Claw Curse.
is a red enchantment aura.
All right. Give me a sorcery or instant.
Evaporate.
I like that.
That's one of the ones.
And finally, last one, and I know there's been lots. Give me an artifact. Any artifact.
Food?
Food.
Does that count?
Does it have to be a card name? Do you accept tokens, Brian?
I will accept it for this because you guys have given me a lot, and you know what? It is literally the best you could end on. The name
God.
of this Mad Lib is Be Our Guest.
Oh no.
So, here we go. Good combat phase, dear ebony rhinos. Prepare for the in search for greatness of a lifetime. Thank you for choosing to retribution with us today at the torturing Door to Nothingness, the finest restaurant in all of Chandelar. You've chosen a very special upkeep to join us. Today we have our guest head chef, directly from their home in the Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, who's Joven. They have flame waved a unique menu full of enchanted evening choices that you won't be able to death touch anywhere else.
Oh, you won't.
Now, of course, they aren't a chef by dredging, but don't Yawgmoths will. For the past 3 upkeeps, I guess I had that up there twice. I must have missed one, sorry. For the past 3 upkeeps, they have been battle-cried by Urborg-renowned chef Teo the Shield Mage. They have chained a plasmid countless apocalypse chimes, and now they are completely frog-tongued to bring your taste buds to an exile they have never been to before.
My taste bud went into exile once. It was not pleasant.
I bet. First on, for your transmute artifact, the chef has Veil of Summered, a lovely assortment of earthquaked dwarven traders.
Best
Be
thing to do
sure,
with them.
be sure to dip them in the accompanying dread paste.
Ugh.
Moving on to the bread course, we have the most outstanding Dread of Night loaves, made from a cultural recipe passed down in the elemental tribes of Hammerheim. It's made with the finest prophetic prisms money can buy.
Ooh, that's how you know it's good.
The main course will be the best fire chain lightninged godsire anywhere. With a spice rub raise the alarmed from the forests of Ravnica. If you don't pacifism it, you are probably weakness inside.
Yeah, you would.
Finally, the chef's own recipe for evacuationed memory lapses will conclude your dining Iron Claw curse. So please, evaporate into your foods and enjoy. I don't know if it had any like absolute gut busters like some of the ones we've had before, but this was just dang spot on. So you guys did a good job. Thank you, chat. Thank you, guys. I know that it's going on, and that took about a little over 15 minutes, and I'm sure Dirk wants to pass out. But I've always enjoyed doing those. I hope you guys find enjoyment from them too.
Yeah. Well, now that we've done the Mad Lib and talked about Ulgrotha, and I have to say, I do love a good chain of plasma, Godsire.
Yeah, yeah. Just make sure to dip your bread in the accompanying dread paste.
See, that would have been Wonder Paste if you went with mine, and it wouldn't have been as funny. But it could have been Filth Paste.
That's true.
So, how about then, Dorks, give us some final thoughts, and we will get out of here.
So for mine, I guess just pretty quick. Uh, I enjoyed Castlevania Nocturne. It's awesome. I would recommend watching the original Castlevania first, but loved it. Enjoying playing through the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. Family's doing okay. This weekend, I'm gonna have a teenager, and that's kind of blowing my mind. She's turning 13. I remember when she would eat at her high chair while we would play Magic. She hasn't done that in like at least 3 years. So
At least.
at least, probably more. But that's all I got. I'm doing okay. I'm just tired. And Sam is probably still up doing homework, so I'll probably need to go check on her in a bit because she's had a lot lately. Next.
For me, I think the one thing that's going on with me is for some reason out of the blue I decided I was going to start playing Pokemon. Violet and Scarlet. So I've got Violet, Trevor's got Scarlet. And I started I have played it, but I only got about halfway with all the challenges and everything. So I am now going in and picking up where I left off, and I'm having fun so far. I think I just got into everything got monotonous with trying to catch everything and do this and that, and so I kind of just fell off the train. But now I'm getting back on, back into the game. I think I've got my group that I'm just gonna take to the end, with maybe one or two that I swap out here or there. But yeah, getting back into Pokemon for a little bit.
Wow. I've still never played a Pokemon game.
You do you, man.
It's one of the franchises that I just missed completely somehow.
Came out while I was in high school, and I had a couple friends that a grade younger than me that were all into it, and I never owned it. I kind of played it through them, And I was like, hey, this is pretty cool, but I don't think I ever actually owned it for my Game Boy. I don't think. I'm trying to remember. Anyway.
How about you, Mike?
Let's see. No plan. I don't think there's any plans for me this weekend. Just trying to. We've been somewhere else the past 2 or 3 weekends. Having some uninterrupted time here will be a good change of pace.
Oh yeah, you wanna come over, Mike?
I'll see.
It was a joke. Please don't hurt me.
Yeah.
I am being called to go downstairs to watch Sam, so Carrie can go to sleep, I think. So, not trying to butt in, but thank you everybody for the Mad Lib and all that. I'm gonna go and sign off now. Everybody have a fantabulous evening, and hope everybody's doing great.
Night, B.
Bye.
All right.
Not to butt in, he says, butting in.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I think there might be a croquet thing that Ashley's been wanting to go to, but it kept getting like rescheduled over and over again for months because of like first weather and then other stuff. But I think it's finally actually happening.
I'm sorry, did you say a croquet thing?
Yeah, croquet thing. I can't remember the exact details or who's organizing it, but it's something that Ashley's been interested in since she first heard about it. Yeah, it kept getting pushed out and out over and over again, and I think it's finally happening Saturday.
Huh. Croquet thing.
I think it's in LeBauer Park. I don't remember.
That might as well be Greek to me. So, okay.
Okay, it's a park downtown. Greensboro.
Oh, okay.
I think. If I'm remembering the right one.
Trippy.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, I have no idea what's going on this weekend. I told the dorks earlier, this is Renee's week off. Like, she took the whole week off before blackout dates for when she wasn't allowed to take any more vacation. And then she got sick. Like, her first day off was Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she got, what's today, Thursday? Yeah, I think she started to feel off on Monday. And I think she left me on Tuesday, and because she wasn't feeling well, and has just been sick ever since. So, I don't know if she's feeling better by the weekend. We might do stuff. I don't know. Oh well, but I do want to remind everyone: Patreon.com/themanapool, all that good stuff. And let me thank our mythic lifeguards real quick. In, I don't know, this order. Let's thank ALK Alters, Kim Ho, Jason Doan. Nope, hang on. Browser just went weird. Jason Doan, Jake Jansons, Casey, Jason Kaus, Andrew Odie, John Parker, Beardy Man, Scuzzo, Team Hillis, Are You, and Al. Yay. So thank you all so very much, and to everybody at every tier, as always, of course. And to everyone that's just tuned in to listen live, or listening to the podcast, or watching the YouTube video. Hey, drop a like. Appreciate you. Let's see. What have I been doing? I have been actually hard at work on the Lord of the Rings set video thing. And I've hit a snag, by the way. I've got every image I could ever need, except for the full art without the card overlays of the departure from the Grey Havens scene. Because it is a 6-card scene. And I found the full art for every other scene. The new ones that are in the scene boxes. All of the other ones from the set, except for that one. the most I could find, the artist posted 3 of the individual arts from it, which is not enough. Like if he'd posted all 6 somewhere, I could piece them together, in just a second. But he didn't. So I can't find them. So if anybody can find it anywhere, then by all means send it to me, or send me to it. Like give me a link or something, because this is frustrating that after all this time I found everything but this one thing. So please and thank you. But also, I'm going to be playing Alan Wake and the little mini sequel, Alan Wake's American Nightmare, for spooky season this year. Probably be starting that by the time you're hearing this. It'll be starting very soon. I'm going to start it, I think, next week, like on Monday, I think. Something like that. So I'm going to have to put Sea of Stars on hold for a bit, which I hate to do because, oh my god, I still love Sea of Stars so much. Dude, I started the last stream in a place where there were enemies from and music from The Messenger, and it made me so happy. So yeah. But all right then. That's pretty much it. When I finish Sea of Stars, then I don't know what I'll do. But I'm going to be playing the Alan Wake and Alan Wake's American Nightmare. When I'm done with that, I'm going to do the Separate Ways DLC for Resident Evil 4, because I haven't started it yet and it's killing me. And then when I finish Sea of Stars, I think I'm going to play the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. I think it was an expansion for Spider-Man on the PS4, or technically I think it was on the PS5 only. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't had a PS thing since the 2, so I don't know. It's on PC now is all I care. And then I'm going to go back to Doom with Doom Eternal and finally wrap that series up. So I'm very excited to do all of that. Yeah. But all right. So with that, this has been episode. What episode is this? 687, because 687, right? And yeah, we'll be done. So be sure to let us know what you think life on not Innistrad. I'm gonna say Innistrad. Life on Ulgrotha would be like. Would it be better or worse than Innistrad, which is the most recent similar thing? So that's why we keep bringing it up. And let us know if you'd want to live there. And have you ever had Chain of Plasma Godsire? And with that, we'll be done. So thank you all so very much for joining us. And don't get eaten by vampires. It's just good life advice, really.